Santis out on the wing, goes to get that pass. The play on through.
So now we are behind the curveball. Where the group set up, we are now technically in a pickle. Losing 1-0 to Guatemala was a heavy hit, and maybe that's why I say in the final part or final stages of the game, the coach start kind of technically kind of panic a little bit. Where in God get desperate and need a point, because a point there can kind of put you in a better position. The problem when you lose all 3 points, that is a little bit dangerous. Now, Panama so far sitting comfortable at the top of the table, relaxing so far. They're in a good position. Panama faces Guatemala next. Now, that game is going to be, in some sense, of a deciding factor in what our future holds going forward. Now, 2 teams advance from the group, so that kind of make you a little bit more comfortable. The problem is, if you advance as second place in the group, more than likely you're going to face one of the tougher teams in the knockout phases. So we'd have to mentally prepare for that. Now, in the event we get a result over Guadeloupe, we're going to sit on 3 points. It depends now on what happened between Guatemala and Panama. So, for example, let's say that's a draw game. Both teams are going to be on 4 points. That makes it way more complex for us. If both teams are going on 4 points, it means now that Guatemala will be facing Guadeloupe for the last game. So technically, Guatemala would have gotten the 2 toughest teams out of the group out of their way to face one of the easiest group. You know, we all know the football play on don't play on paper, which means you have on the day have to get the job done. So Guadeloupe could pull a surprise, any little factor, penalty, red card, anything can play. But if you're a bookie, or just the ordinary fan looking at the odds or how things likely to go, you would expect that Guatemala would have gotten the job done over Guadeloupe. You'd expect that, even if the records are quite close or quite similar, based off recent performance from the same Guatemala team. You'd expect them to get the job done. So that in itself would have put them on 7 points. Now, where would that leave us? We're still on 3 points with Panama left to face. So that would put us in a dire situation, a must-win situation versus Panama. A draw won't do it. It's a must-win. So in the event, that would mean Panama on 4 points. Panama would be on 4 points. Guatemala beat Guadeloupe. So they play before Jamaica. They beat Guadeloupe, which means that they automatically advance. So the final game would be Panama, Jamaica, which would have been now the decider, the group decider. That would have put, as we said, that would have put us in a position where it's a must-win game. In the event we draw, Panama would have gone on 5 points, and we'd have just jumped on 4 points. So Guatemala would have topped the group. Panama come second, we come third. Second on 5 points, we come third on 4 points. Now we'd have to win the game, which means that we'd have finished on 6 points. Here what the interesting part about that now. If we flip that a little bit and said, in the event Panama beat Guatemala, so that means Panama would be on 6 points going to the final game of the day versus final game of the game of the first round or the group stages versus Jamaica on 6 points. And say we beat Guadeloupe, would have gone into the final game on 3 points. That would have left Guatemala on 3 points going to the final game there, which would have meant they would be playing Guadeloupe. So that would put us in a position whereas we were playing against Panama, we were on 3 points. Guatemala will be playing against Guadeloupe, And they're also on 3 points on the final day. And the only team on 6 points would be Panama. So Panama technically, in some sense, probably technically would advance. It depends on how the final day go, or the amount of points, the amount of goal difference that they would be on. So with us losing that game, it has a huge effect, because the Gold Cup is a competition where the coach should have been finalizing his system, because he will not get this much time again. He will not get this much time again to spend with the team. Remember now, we play on Monday, and the next game all we have. We play on Monday, and the next game all the way on Friday, which means that a lot of preparation can go in place. Then now the following game after that's another 4 days again. So the Gold Cup is a perfect opportunity for it to get a lot of games, a lot of time to prepare for these games. And if you can't get it right here, it's going to be way more difficult coming the next set of World Cup qualifiers, where we'll have less time to prepare, because the football season already start. So, and then no possibilities are you might have players coming in, which means those players have to be integrated into the squad, into the system that you have already designed for the squad you have at hand right now. So that's the difficulty. That is the tough situation that you're in. So the coach, the players right now have to go say, you know what, we have to go switch it, we have to go change it, because how are they going to react when they're back against the wall? This is the perfect opportunity as fans to look at these players and say, how will you now react? Yes, we know that the football play on the day and on the pitch, which means that we're going up against a Panama team we're not put down. No good record against. How will you now react to adversity? This is a good if we should fall out at the group stages, hopefully that not happen, that would show us that we're weak and we're not ready. That shows us we're weak and we're not ready. But if we had advanced, that shows us we'd have in somewhat overcome some level of adversity and probably build a stronger squad, a stronger bond within the squad. I have to ask the question, that the performance that we saw in the Unity Cup versus Trinidad versus Nigeria, why the team not look the same? Why the team look so different now? Me not understand it. But this is the perfect example to know if the team are going to sink or swim. This is what we're going to know if this team is ready for the next level. This first round of the Gold Cup is where it's going to tell us or indicate to us as supporters if this team and the coaching staff ready to take us to the next level. It's either sink or swim. Sink versus, probably say we Guadeloupe, but sink versus Panama, our outside competition. Or swim, beating Guadeloupe, beating Panama, and advance to the next round. Either way, the two way can go. But this is a true test of the fortitude of this Reggae Boyz team, squad, management, team, everything. Let's see how them pull this one through. Anyways, big up on yourself. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is not really a video where I have a lot of editing. But you know, don't know anything already. Remember, so we still try to get the likes them up. We still try to get the likes them up on the video, people. Let's get that out of the way. Don't know. Let's go. 300 likes. We most can't get that. If we get 1,000 views, most can get up to 300 likes, people. At least 30% likes. At least 30%. I know what, 1,000 views, 1,000 person, 300 likes. Come on, most can that. Anyways, big up on yourself, people. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you think the team will sink or swim? Put in the comment section which one I say sink or swim. Comment which one the team are got the team. Big up on yourself, people. MG Sports TV, you're here. We're out. God bless. Outside. Boom. Outside. And the girls, what? Outside.